Yes. So we are discussing about the some performance related transaction codes, right? ST01 for enabling the trace. So in ST01 we can enable the trace. So in case existing logs are not enough, so we need to take the more, we need to collect the more logs. So what is happening? So the time this trace functionality we can switch on, we can ask the user to reproduce the issue whatever he is facing, then we can check the logs what is happening. ST02 tune summary, the buffers, hit ratio, all these things we can see in the ST02, right? So buffers, hit ratio, swaps. So most of the performance issues means we need to check the here only buffers. So it is taking time. The user request is taking time. So maybe the user is taking time. One T code whenever he is executing, it's taking a lot of time, which means we need to check the so what is happening in the systems. So the most contributors are so these buffers and also swaps, right? Here memory usage, memory areas. These are the SAP memory areas here, right? So here we can change it. The buffer changes everything. We can perform it. Then yesterday we checked about the ST03 or ST03 and workload monitor. So here we can monitor the our system performance day wise, weekly wise, so monthly wise, so minutes wise. Like we can monitor the system performance here. So we can get the data from the system, how it is behaving and everything. We can get the data from the system. So what transactions, whichever, all the details we can get from ST03 transaction code, right? Then ST04 is the transaction code. This is called the DB performance monitor. DB performance monitor. ST03 is the so DB performance monitor. DB performance monitor. This is the DB performance related transaction code here. Just 1 minute. Let me schedule the one report here. Okay. I schedule the one report here. Yeah. So this report is for the uh, S4HANA conversion report. So which in existing system we have to execute this one. So that report I have executed in one of the system. So that's why you can see which is active. Okay. Okay. Let's leave it out. So that's why we discussed about the ST04, ST04 up to 4 we discussed, right? And also DBA cockpit, database related, all the transaction codes we discussed. So up to DBA related, so database related, all these things we discussed in the systems. So all the database related things, performance, space, monitor. So more discussion on the DBA cockpit when we are discussing on the HANA database. That time you will come to know. So what is performance, space, backups, restore, configuration, all these things you will get, right? Then the next one is the ST05 is the tracing. This is the performance trace. ST05 is the performance trace. Performance trace means in your system you need to collect some logs. You need some logs. So in your system, you need some logs. So that time this performance trace is very useful. The performance trace is very useful. Suppose so one SQL statement is running from long time. Then you need HTTP trace. You need some AMC, APS, some RFC, some other traces you required. Then you can switch on the trace. You can activate the trace. Then you can ask the user to reproduce the issue. What is the issue? Then you can deactivate the trace. Then you can display the trace so that it will display the information, error information. What is the statement which is executed the long time. So out of this fraction of seconds, when we switch on the trace, then after that, when we switch off the trace, then what exactly happened in the system, which tables it is referred. You can see here duration, which statements took the long time. See here, this is the 11.875 durations, okay, microseconds, right? So here ST05 trace. So which statement? This is the SQL statement, right? This is the object, right? So here like that you can see which work process, what is the connection name. So all the information is detecting, right? It's detecting to find out the performance issues in the systems. All the information it is detecting to find out the information in the systems, right? This is the trace information. So this is for the trace. So any trace we can activate it. So ST01 is for the system trace. Suppose if you have some authorization issues, then you can switch on the trace. So you have some RFC connection issues, then you can switch on the trace, then turn on the trace. Then after that, you can turn off the trace. You can save and you can analyze the trace, what is exactly mean by. So same as like we have the ST05. ST05 is the transaction code for the tracing also. This is also tracing. Then you can enable the trace. After some time, you can disable the trace and you can see what exactly who is the user and what exactly happening in the systems. So all the information you will get it out from here, right? All the information you will get it. So based on this, so you can check with your developers or functional team. So what is there in which statement? So what is the program? It is taking longer duration. So why it is taking longer duration? So like that we can do the some R&D, means some analysis we can do that one. Some analysis we can perform the by enabling the trace. Sometimes SAP may ask you provide the trace logs. So that times we need to collect the trace logs. We need to collect the trace logs. Then we need to download it. We need to download the trace. We need to list save download it. You can download the trace to your local desktop. So you can provide to the SAP. So that information we can send to them. That information we can send to them. So this is the information. This is the information we can get from the ST01 and ST05 traces. ST01, ST05 traces we can find out from here, right? So this is the to troubleshooting the issues, to collect the more logs. So to find out the root cause of the issue, to find out the issue, all these things, ST02, ST01, ST05 are the most tracing related functionalities purpose. We will use ST01, ST05 are the transaction codes. So then we go to the ST02. This is for the OS level information, OS level, operating system level information, it will be displayed. So ST06 is for the OS level information. OS level information means OS level, what are the things are available? Operating system level. So hardware side, CPU, then memory, disks, and network. So these are the things are available at operating system level, right? So same way in here we can see in the operating system level, we can see the all the information. We can see the operating system level, we can see the all the information. What is your operating system? What is the host name, right? When is the timestamp, right? So what is the solution of the virtualization solution? How many CPUs, idle time? So number of CPUs, how many number of CPUs, right? System utilization means system internal processor using 2% it is using. So user utilization 5% users are using. Then idle time 92%. 92% CPUs are free. 92% CPU utilization is free. Why? Because our user utilization is very less. It's a very free, right? So like that we can see some memory, how much memory percentage we have. Free percentage only 5%, right? Total how much? 14 GB. In that, so free swap usage how much? So all the information we can see it here. Not only current information, you can also check the CPU, the previous hours top CPU process which are consuming in the systems, right? So network, LAN, disk, all these previous hours. Suppose if you see the previous hours, you can see the how much time. So last, see here. So today's date, 1 to 4th hour, you can see what is the system utilization, right? What is the idle time, right? What is the user time, user idle time, right? So, and also you can see the first yesterday, yesterday night, user utilization is slightly increased during the night hours, right? And also, so 10, 11, 12, 13th hour, this 4 hours, user utilization is very high. So not very high, it's okay. So see here, like that, we can investigate it. So in which hours, so users are using more in the systems. Suppose if you see the history, again, history of the systems, you will get more here. You will get more here. I think snapshots, we have to enable it. So then it's reading from the snapshot enabling, we have to enable it. So it will reading. So previous days also it will show here. And also memory. So memory consumption also we can see here. So here now free memory is there. The free memory is there. Only 7 MB is there. So previous hours, how much it is MB. So all the information we can find out from the here, right? And also disk usage. Disk means your file system level disk usage. How much the disk is utilizing. All the information. The statistics are displaying here, right? So and also LAN network level information. How many LAN in and out. So all the information packets in and out you can see from here, like top CPU process. So which is the top CPU's process, like top consumption are using. See here I think this is the one. SQL Server process is consuming the 786 percentage time it is using, right? So then after that, what is next? SQL Server process only. Both are the SQL Server related only. So then what next? So all these things we can see it here. So Ana Studio, CS Reddy, and Arif. So you can see which user, same as like in the task manager, we can see the users, right? What are the users and everything. So same way here also we can see the users information. What is user, which user, Surya, Uma. So make that Shiva, Bhaskar, what exactly they what. So how much memory they are using, all the information you can see here. All the information you got it from here, right? All the information you got it from here. See here. So what they are doing in the task manager, we can get all the so performance, CPU, memory, network, disk, everything, right? Same way here also in the ST06, it's dedicated for the operating system related, either the Windows or non-Windows, all the information will be displayed. Not only current one, historical data also it will be displayed here. So based on that, we can see CPU situations and everything. So how many CPUs we have? Like total 6 CPUs we have. In the 6 CPUs, which CPU has more workload? You can see all CPUs are equally distributing here. All CPUs are equally distributing the load and everything here, right? You can see all CPUs are equally distributing the load so that there is no issues with the CPU. So memory also we have. System is quite good, right? So like that we can conclude. So either the CPU issues or memory issues or file system issues or user issue. If it is the user issues, SAP level, we can check the ST01, ST02 traces, we can on it, we can see, right? All the information we can find out from the here. All the information we can find out from the ST06, right? ST06 for the OS level information, right? Then DBA cockpit for the DB level, all the information, right? ST03, then SAP level information. 3 layers we have covered as with respect to the performance or performance related. ST03, SAP level. So things we can see here, SAP level load, workload analysis, everything we can see from here, right? And also the next transaction code is called the ST07. It's not much important. So, but if you know, that is the well enough. ST07, ST07. You can see here ST07. It's like just in each component, how many users are logged into the system, all the information will be displayed here. Here, basis components. So only 9 users are logged into the system. In that, 2 users are active currently. So sessions for the user. So this is the so just called application monitor and user distribution. Means each component, like basis users. We all are the basis users, basis components we are using. So sometimes sales, some people, they will use the sales related transaction codes. Suppose like VL02 transaction code. So sometimes users may face the issues. See here. So why sales related transaction code still compiling? It's taking longer time. Why? Sales related transaction codes are so compiling. So you can see here, sales related transaction codes is taking longer duration sales related transaction codes. So we need to find out why initially first time we are accessing the sales related transaction code. It's taking time. It's taking time. So after that, after some time, if you access again one more time, if you access it again, it will be very fast. Why? Because the buffers will be filled now. The buffers will fill in now. Maybe if you want, you can go ahead and here you can check the ST02 transaction code and see the buffers. See the buffers here. All are 95 plus, right? All are 95 plus. So which means we are good. System with respect to the system performance, we are good. But you can see the swaps here. 10,000 plus swaps are occurred for the CUA buffer. So there is no much free space here. There is no much free space here. That's why the overflow is happening. Here swaps are coming means this buffer, CUA buffer, does not have enough free space. CUA buffer does not have enough free space in the systems. So that is the reason. So it is giving here. So the sales related transaction codes, we got it, right? This is for the sales related transaction code, outbound, inbound, so some points. So currently there is no data. So that's why it's not, there is no values displayed. So now how much time it's taken? So almost like response time 563 milliseconds. Maybe it's taken longer duration, right? It's taken the longer duration to get this data, right? So again, if you execute the VL02, now you got the immediate response. Why? Any reason? You got the fraction of seconds, you got the transaction codes, right? Why initially it's taken longer duration? Now when I enter the second time,
it will store in the application buffer second time.
Excellent, man. Excellent. Yes, right. So second time it's stored into the buffers. Buffers means we have the buffers, right? So in the buffers it's stored the data. Buffers it's stored the data. So that is the reason. So how can we analyze here? So here you can see all system response is good. So as what we discussed, it's a 99%, but okay, 95 plus it's okay, right? So all are 95%. The buffer situation is very high here. So it's they are using all the data it's getting, but this buffer is overflow. Maybe if you can go to the history you can check it out. History you can check the things and everything you can check it out from history here. So what is this buffer? So objects are swapped and frames are swapped. So here you can check the historical status of this buffers and everything. You can check it out. History not displaying. Maybe you can check the objects. What are the objects are there here? What are the objects are there here? All the information will be displayed. All the information will be displayed. So if you keep on accessing the system, so the performance will be more improved. The self-performance will be improved. Suppose in one more transaction, so my go, it's all are the sales related, the materials related transaction codes. So don't worry, the functional team should be worry about this one. You should not be worry about that one. So, but sometimes they may raise the questions. So I am using the one of the transaction code, MyGo or sales related VL02 or VL023 and transaction codes. The system is taking longer duration. Could you please investigate it? So that time, so we have to ask them. So are you accessing the first time or is it daily or so only particular time means now only this time, only 7 o'clock, from 7 onwards, 6 onwards you are getting means we need to check the system behavior during that time. So and also is it programs? Sometimes what happens, each and every custom program there is a associated one. So standard program there is associated custom program. So our functional team they will write it. The developers they will write the one custom structure, they will include it, the includes. the program side, they have the includes, and they will do that one. Because of some reasons, it may take some times. So, and also each and every call, it will go to the database level, it will pull it. The database level means the table level. The table level, we need to cross check in the table, what is the read, sequential reads, or what is happening in the database table level. So other table records are very more, secondary indexes are created. All these things we can find out from the systems, right? Find out from the systems. This is one of the purchase order related transaction codes, right? So we can create the purchase order also. If you are the functional guy, you can create the one order receipt number, you can create it, you can use it, right? So now this is taken the much time, right? Again, if you execute it, the buffers will be full. Now you got the immediately you got the screen now. Why? Why means, as you know answer. Why means, right? So because of buffers, the mainly thing is the buffer here, the buffer. So mainly things are the buffer here. So now you can see 10,033. Now if you go access it, if you keep on accessing, then see here 10, it's go to the 12,000, which means, so if you keep on accessing, the buffer is getting filled. The buffer is getting filled here. The buffer is getting free. The free percent is coming down. The free percent is coming down. Why? Because objects are moving to the here. Either we need to increase the buffer. So this is a CA buffer, right? So go to the current parameters list and CA buffer. What is the value here? So here 2000 have mentioned maximum objects. Then you can select it, go to the here, then change this parameter 2000 to 4000 or something like that. You can change it, right? So that is your assignment. You need to change this buffer value to 4000, right? So this is the value, this is the buffer value. So tomorrow, when I see the system, the value should not be appear here. The value should not be appear in this system. It should be 0. Okay. So that is the assignment for today for you, right? You have to do that one, right? So that is the one. So when you're accessing all this transaction code, ST07 will give the clear information. ST07. So how many user, this is not much useful, but here we can see the application monitor, how many users in each component wise, it will give the clear information. Component wise, it will give the clear information. How many users, number of users, each user, how many, which component they are using. So it gives the clear information. Users. So 105 users. So user 105. So user. So all the information, work process 20. So basis release 70, 750. So all the information will be displayed here. All the information will be displayed in the systems. All the information will be displayed in the systems. This is the ST07 is for the application monitor and user distribution. Application monitor and user distribution. Okay. Application monitor. Okay. So this is the normal transaction codes which are really helpful for you. So apart from that, so what we can do, so the one more transaction code, SMLG, we already discussed, right? SMLG, we already discussed, logon groups, response time, all these things, right? And also RZ12, RFC server groups. So someone locked this one, someone locked this transaction codes. So we can check who's locked and what table and everything. We go to the AL08 is the transaction code. Here we can check. Here we can check only basis user is locked this transaction code. So if you want to log off this user from the system, right? Just to go to the here, so we can log off from this user. SMLG, right? Just select it, user, then log off user, entire system wide, right? You can log off. When you log off it, the user will get log off from the systems, right? User will get log off from the systems. So this is the way we can forcefully log off the user from SM04. SM04 is the transaction code. You can log off the user from the systems. You can do that one. You can do that one. You can track the trace also. We can activate the particular trace also. You can activate it. So you can get the user information also. Who is that user? What is exactly using? What is the So log on, terminal value, and what is the IP is using, what is the conversation ID which is available in the gateway side, what is the host name, so what is the dialog work process name. So all the information will be displayed. The user related technical details will be displayed here, right? So all the information will be displayed. We can find out user information. Who is the user? Suppose if we click on username and username, the username will be displayed. Username will be displayed here in the systems. So you can check the RZ12. RZ12 you can go, and this is the RFC server groups. So normally system to system, when you are logging to the system in SMLG is for the user logon groups, right? User logon groups. This is for the user logon groups. Means users which we are logging from SAP side. This is user logon group. But system to system connectivity, sometimes the data flow will happen from system to system, right? One system to another system. That time, if we use this RZ12 RFC logon groups, RFC server, so logon groups, RFC server, this logon groups, so we can use this one, so that system to system RFC connections time. So this one we can use it, right? We can create the RFC server groups for so we can use this RFC server groups for the system to system communication purpose. So that when you are defining the parallel processing or client copies, so you can define this RFC group for the parallel processing time. Parallel processing means, suppose if you are using the local client copy, if you are performing, right? Not local client copy, we are performing the remote client copy. So So RZ12, SMLG, RZ12. So groups are created here, right? Groups are created. So we can create the multiple groups also. So multiple groups, so multiple things we can create it in the systems. So here the users can log in through this RFC groups, right? Which are the modern application servers. The users can log in this application servers, right? So and also if you have the system to system connectivity time, you can use this RFC server groups, so that when you are creating the RFC destination, instead of deploying the one particular application server, here you can use the load balancing. Load balancing here you can use it. Load balancing here you can use it. Load balancing here you can use it. So that when you use the load balancing option here, so here it will refer the groups. By default, one group it will refer the groups, so that this groups can be used internally. These groups can be used in RZ12, whatever the groups you are defining internally. These groups will be used for the parallel processing or so some other multitasking purpose. These groups will be used in the RFC server groups. Suppose the programmers, they will define there is one common group that is called a parallel generator. Parallel generator, there is a one common group they will create it. Parallel generator, one common group they will create it here. So this group is assigned to the multiple application servers, so that whenever the data is processing from your system, so it will refer these groups, so that this group having some how many number of logons should be used, maximum number of work process should be used. There is an item. So then you can increase to the 90%, means 90% of work process will be used when you are using this parallel generator. This is for increasing the more resources, increasing the more resources. So increasing the more resources, then the processing time will be reduced. The processing time will be reduced. Suppose 10 people, 2 months taken to build the one house. Maybe if you increase the 20 people, then it will take 1 month, right? Same as like here also, same conditions will be applied here. So here few people, maximum number of work process, how many number of work process, percentage of the connections, wait time, how much the wait time should be open it. When the processing the time, So if you increase this data, it will be used, the more work process will be used here. So that is the reason RJ12 is for the RFC server groups. Then next one, SM61 is for the background job groups. We can create it. Background job groups. If we go to the SAP server group, job background job server groups, we can create the group. One group we can create it. Groups we can create it, right? SAP. So BTC underscore default groups we can create it. Groups. So groups we can create it here. So when you create in the groups, you can add all application servers to this group, all application servers to this group. Okay, the background jobs will start using these groups, and everything it will start using it. The background jobs will start using these groups, right? So this is the way you can define the groups. So instead of you leaving empty, if we create the groups, so we have to create the groups here. We have to create the groups here. We have to create it. All the groups we have to create it in the systems. Okay, all the groups we have to create in the systems. So that background jobs will refer this group, background jobs which are running from SM37. So we all the groups will refer these groups. All the groups will check in these groups, right? So you can see you guys are, I think some of the are fixed. All the issues are fixed. I think the jobs are finishing quickly now. You can see here the jobs are finishing, but you can see there is a delay. Delay is happening here, but jobs are finishing here. Why these two jobs are failing? Change is not made. Display user only. Okay. The program issue, I guess. Booking tickets. No authorization. ATC runs. Okay. Now, apart from that, so still we have some other transaction codes also. We'll revise all the transaction codes here. We'll revise all the transaction codes here, right? So ST01, 2, 3, we completed all the ST07 up to completed. SMLG logon groups and RJ12 groups we completed. Then ST22, you know, right? So, and SM21 also, you know, right? And also SM04. What is the use of the SM04 and AL08?
All user activation, active users.
Okay, logged on users list, and this is the global. This is the application server wise. This is the global logged on users list. Means all application servers, like all the instances wise. We can see this transaction codes and everything. So one more transaction code for the tracing is ST12. ST12. ST12 is the one more transaction code for the tracing. ST12. So this is also stat display, statistical display. This is also will be used for the tracing functionality only. So transaction analysis, single transaction analysis. This is also will be helpful for the taking the transaction only. So here we can collect the traces. We can just to provide the what is the user trace. So then what is the username? Suppose like basis user. So what is the task? Just activate it. Then 5 active process for the business user on the systems. So trace activated. So SQL trace can heavily overload on the parallel processing. Really proceed? Yes. So which is saying that, so now traces started. Now traces started. So then we can ask user, then we can, this is the user wise. This is the statistical display. User wise, the transaction is analysis means one particular user. So we can check the statistics and everything. Just end the traces. They can see end the traces. All the traces are collected here. That is available in the data folder. Then click on the OK. Then now we can do the analysis. We can perform it. See here now we can perform the analysis in the systems. Right now we can perform the analysis of this user analysis. We can perform it. So what is exactly mean? So what exactly? So all the information, the statistics will display. We can find out from the users list. We can find out here. So trace. Suppose you want to see the trace. So the trace can be the trace, we can see the traces. The traces we can see it from the systems. See here, the traces are collected here. So we can do the some analysis on the these traces, what is happening and everything, all the information we can find out from the systems. So this is the ST12 ortho traces. Here as of now, ST12, ST01 and ST05 are the traces functionality. Traces functionality purpose we will use it. Tracing functionalities, right? Tracing functionalities we will use it for the this functionality. Traces. Okay. So then apart from that, so what other transaction codes we left? Normal day-to-day usages, we will use the transaction codes. So workload, taking the dialog response time, ST03, and SMLG, checking the logon response, SM12, background jobs checking, SM37. So then what left? STAD, STAD also, maybe the trace only, the trace functionality purpose only we will use the, so STAD only. So this is also the trace functionality only, the tracing, taking the trace only, the response time and everything, the statistics trace. So we can take it out. Which application server, then we can collect the trace. So, but this is not, this is a business transaction analysis. Better you can take this one from the ST12 only. ST12 will give the more information. So that is for the ST12, you can get the more information from the systems. So stat is not the transaction code, only stat is the transaction code. So apart from that, what we have other transaction codes, just recalling what we left. Before we go for the transport administration, SM36, 37, 13, 14, updates, background jobs, right? Client copies related transaction codes, all these things we discussed, right? Database related transaction code, DB13, DB12, yesterday we discussed DBA planning calendar. So database logs, DBA backup logs and everything we can check in the DB12. DB13 is the planning calendar. So all the information we can check it out from here, right? So if you open anything, you will get the same screens, right? DBA cockpit screen only you will get. So that is the one thing. DB01 database logs, database deadlocks, and all these things we can find out from here, right? Planning calendar, nothing is there. So logs, DB01. So database locking mechanisms. So is still what left we have? Sorry?
OS level.
Yeah,
fine.
OS level we have, OS level we have the topics. So no, SAP level I'm thinking. In your limit, whatever we have discussed now, are there any other things we miss it, our daily monitoring perspective? So normal our transaction perspective, small transaction codes, I'm telling. So voice level, definitely there is a one special topic, voice level topics that I will discuss, not a problem. Apart from that, are there any other things I am checking? C22 fine. Dump analysis, right? How to do the dump analysis and everything, go to the today's date. You can see the one dump is occurred. So we need to check what is the dump occurred. So what is the exceptions? What is the program? Use the user, call it this dump SC01 basis user. What is the program ID? So why the internal error at user? That user, there is some user internal error while SUID means while creating the user or while doing something is having some error. What is that? Internal error in the address management. So does not contain any address node, which parameters is one. Remember this one. So which means, so in the user has consistency status. User address has inconsistency. Here see the error is clearly displayed here. internal error in the address management, user address management. So it does not contain any value, something address value, some is inconsistency. So we need to fix that one, then this error it won't occur. So like that, we need to check what happened, what can I do, so how to correct the errors. So all this information where it is terminated. So all the information we can find out from the systems. All the information we can find out from the systems. Right. So apart from that, so we have SM01, you know, right? So lock or unlock the transaction code, lock or unlock the the transaction codes, lock or unlock the transaction codes here. So we can lock the some critical transaction codes from the systems, SM01. Then SM02 for the system message, we can put the system messages here. So for the users. So then apart from that, we have more to discuss, but for your limit, so what other things are left? General small transaction codes, that's what I am thinking. So normally, you know, right, the tables information, we can take it from SE11 tables information. Suppose you want to view the table data, SE11 to SE16 transaction codes, you can check and we can view the tables data. In a table, if any data, it's in the table data is there, we can view the tables data from here, right? We can view the tables data, SE11 to SE16, we can view the tables data, we can view the tables data from the systems. Suppose we have the certain tables in the systems. Suppose like if you go to the SE11, we can put the table name, view name, or suppose table name means USR02 is the one of the table where all users information is displayed here. Just to open this table, then you will get the how many users are there. So which means table level means at database level it is exist. Can we access from the SAP level? Yes. So these are the transaction codes you can get from the SAP level also. You will get the all the information. SAP level also you can get the all the information from the table level. How many users are there? So when was the last logon date? So when was the last logon time? So what is the password they have changed it? So all the information here it is displayed in the systems in the table level. So that type of information we can pull from the system database level we can pull from. So this transaction codes are pull the tables data SE11 to SE16. We can view the table data. Tables data we can view from the system. The table data we can view from the system level. We can view the tables data. So that is the SE11 and SE16. And also you know SA38 or SE38 for the programs are reports. The programs are reports execution or view. We can see here reports we can execute and we can see here, right? So this is the way. So you can see now number of entries, how many users, total 18 entries. So what are the users and what are the type of users? I think none of the users are not logged. Who created the users? So when was the user created? So all the information here is displayed, right? All the information it is displayed. Suppose you want users with last logon date or something, you can find out when was the last logon date happened in the system. All the information will be displayed in the systems. So all the information will be displayed in the systems, right? This is for the tables data. If you want to view the table data, so then you don't need to go to the database level. Just to go to the SE11 or SE16, just check. So check in the system. Suppose T000. So there's a I will explain about the few important tables also, but you should be aware of where to see the tables data. Then SE11 or SE16, we can display the tables data, everything we can display it here. So like that you should know. And also programs. So SA38 or SE38, we can see the programs data, we can execute it. The programs data we can execute from the systems. Programs data we can execute from the systems. right? So yes, the foreground data we can execute from the systems. So I executed one job, one readiness check job. Oh, this job started executing the HANA sizing job, then monitor, select jobs. So all the DVM jobs, readiness jobs, all the jobs are it finished. It's finished. It cancelled also. One job got cancelled. Why? So call function not found. Readiness check report function model CVI not found. Okay, this functional model is not exist. So that is the reason we are getting this error. Okay, that is the separate case. So yes, someone pinged something. Can you schedule this job? Discuss. What schedule my job from Monday to, okay, that assignment, right? Okay.